Time for some fun. This is one of my favorite times of the year because I get to make content and tell people about fantastic board games that you can buy for others, which is one of the funnest parts of the hobby, in my opinion. Buying games for ourselves is undoubtedly high tier experience-wise, but there's something special about giving a really great game to another person. So this list is primarily going to be for hobbyists, friends, families, partners, but most of these games are pretty entry-level friendly. This list is made up of all kinds of items, from really great out-of-print games that are finally back in print to really cool accessories for popular games, some just cool ideas you may not have thought of. Some, but not all, on this list are on sale right now, but these sales might not last much longer. But if you're watching this for a Christmas list, then you probably need to be moving right now anyway and not waiting around. So, without further ado, we're going to do our top 10 recommended Christmas gifts of 2024. And I do want to shout out TantrumCon 2025, which will be in Charlotte, North Carolina in January. And you should go and you should play games with me and all of the other wonderful people attending. Play games with them too. But I'll talk more about TantrumCon at the end of the video. So let's just get right into number 10. So on Coach.com, they're currently selling some very special D6. And let's be honest, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And please God, nobody go buy those. But in all seriousness, let's get to our number 10, which is the reprint of Vegas Showdown. Here's my copy right here, which is the older copy. There's a couple older copies which have a little different look to the box, but the contents were always the same, which is not the case with the new copy, thank God. This game has been out of print for a decade plus and has always been one of those games in the hobby that either people know it and love it or just don't know it at all. It's hard to not have a fun time playing Vegas Showdown. It's a tile laying game if your person likes games like King Domino or Queen Domino, Cascadia. This is going to be a great fit. The previous copies, like this one, literally used paper game boards and player boards. You know, let me just show you. Paper. You literally hate to see it. And if I'm being honest, these paper game boards and player boards are almost offensive to try to table the game because of. I mean, perhaps the worst components out of any game I can think of. And it still shined despite all of that, gaining such a little cult following. And thankfully, Renegade Games has actually upgraded it to some very beautifully printed cardboard game and player boards. And honestly, probably even buying the newer copy, even if you have the older copy, is worth doing, just because who really wants to bring this to game night? But it is still a fantastic game, the old copy, if you can not be a snob about it. But it's currently listed for $32 on Miniature Market, but I do think it's also available on Amazon, but it might be a couple dollars more there. So let's move on. Number 9 is Survive the Island, which is a reprint of Survive Escape from Atlantis, which is a reprint of Survive. I think it was just called Survive in the very first printing. But the new version, Survive the Island, is a reprint of a reprint of a reprint, as I said. And the previous version has been out of print for a very, very long time, and this one typically sells for 80 to 100 plus, and you don't even want to look at the prices for the 5-player expansion or other expansions for it. But the reprint is currently listed on Amazon for $15, which is insane. But I will also note that the new version comes with 5 players right out the base, unlike this version, which only could do 4 out of the box without the crazy expensive expansion. I do prefer this copy, but I think that's just me being a snob again. But I will say, I don't love the mechanics change with the new version. I think I have the new version around here. I actually think it's over there somewhere, but the new version does come with a kaiju, which can walk on land. This replaces the well, and I don't love that, but maybe I just need to table it more. It's kind of one of those games that were perfect, you know, so why tweak it? But that being said, you can just play with the kaiju as if it were the well, and simply it stays in the water and can only destroy boats. And then there's effectively no difference between the two. The components in the new edition are nice, you know, as nice as the previous editions. This is kind of a party game, but more importantly, it has a bit of a head-to-head punching each other, which is really fun and has everyone laughing the whole time. But if your person and group just doesn't like that really competitive game style, then this may not be the right game. But, you know, if you guys are cool with those kind of games, it's absolutely brilliant, and it's certainly going to cost you a lot less than this older copy. Number 8 is another reprint, and we're really on a roll. We're not going to stop here. But it's a reprint of Chinatown, which is Waterfall Park. This was one of the most brilliant evergreen economic games of all time. Chinatown is basically a control or set management stock trading game, and I'm using stock trading really loosely, but it's a great time, and if your person likes economic games, then you really can't miss with this one. I haven't played the new edition, the Waterfall Park reprint, and I don't love the overall cutesy theme compared to the more beige art style you expect from an economic game. But that's just my preference, and the price difference makes it well worth grabbing the reprint if you could never get your hands on Chinatown, which normally goes for 80 to 120 second hand. So this reprint, currently on sale on Amazon for $33, is clearly the better choice. And, you know, there's very little change in how the game plays. I think they may have tweaked a few things, but all in all, you're getting a phenomenal economic game for a really great price. Number 7 is the Roxley Iron Clays, which are finally back in stock at Roxley.com for $90 for the 200, which is my preferred set. Bit cheaper for the $100 set, and now there's even a 400-piece set. Did I say $100 set? I meant 100 chips for 200 chips, and now 400 chips. I think 200 is the perfect amount for most games. I've never needed much more than 100 chips, but I'd say most of the time the 100 chips would have just fallen short. And these have sold for crazy amounts on the secondhand market when they're out of stock, easily 2 to 3 times retail, if not more. So honestly, for $90, for the quality of these chips, is that not so satisfying? I love it. And I mean, honestly, they're as nice as any poker chips I've ever played with and cost a good deal less than comparable high-end poker sets. And these are such a great gift because they can be used for so many different games. I have 10 to 20 games that don't hit the table without these. Paper money is officially a thing of the past. I love these with Santiago, is one of my favorite to play it with. Even though Santiago, technically you're supposed to have hidden money in the game, it's just so nice to play with the chips, even if you technically can count your opponent's money. It doesn't really change the game that much anyway. But these are also a must if you're going to start getting into big train 18xx games. If someone, you don't know what they do or don't have, you'd probably know if you played with them whether or not they have these. So it's killer. I don't know anyone who wouldn't be excited to get these. But moving on. All right, number 6 is the only one that I don't even have like an older copy of, which is, well, I guess I technically have Catan, but I don't have anything as far as this item goes. Number 6 is another little kind of add-on gift, which is the cute, adorable little gemstone robber and metal dice collection sets for Catan. They're currently in stock on GamerGuildAZ.com for $25 each. They still have most options in stock, though not a whole lot of each, but you get several different gemstones to choose from, so you can really kind of choose your favorite. My favorites being the opal and the amethyst sets, but there's quite a few options, so it really gives you an opportunity to personalize this gift for the person you know, if you do happen to know their favorite gemstones or just gemstones they really like. They're just so cute and nice, and even if you don't use them, they're such a nice little display piece. You know, might actually get Catan back on the table. Also, I think this is such a good gift option because almost every gamer has Catan, and almost none of them are really going to already have these little sets. They're adorable. You really can't go wrong with this one. I think any gamer would be excited to get them. All right, number 5 is another upgrade item for a classic game. This is Ticket to Ride, the Anniversary Deluxe Train Sets. So let me line these up for you. Currently, most of these are still in stock for $10 each on GamerGuildAZ.com. There are technically 7 of them, including the promo set, box 1, which comes with the adorable little milk trains. And I will note that box 1 and box 7 are selling for 60 to 80 plus on eBay each, and I haven't even looked for a couple weeks now. So if you don't mind not having the complete set of 7, then jump over to Gamer Guild AZ. You'll be fine, because after all, you're really not playing with Ticket to Ride with more than 4 or 5 players anyway. These sets also work with the European edition too, because they include the little building pieces. Also, if you do want to go all out and do something really nice for your person, you can hunt down 1 in 7 on eBay, you know, and actually complete that set. It's a decent chunk of money to get all of them, but it is a super cool collection. I absolutely love them. I got lucky and got all of them from my local game shop for $10 each, and they threw in the promo for free. Really can't complain on my end. I guess I'll even shout out the game shop since they did treat me so well. That was Level Up Games here in Georgia off of Pleasant Hill, which is up in Duluth. Just absolutely phenomenal game store. So number 4 is exciting. It is the 60th anniversary edition of Sid Sackson's masterpiece, Acquire. The 60th anniversary edition literally just came out and is currently on sale for $90 on Amazon. Apparently, there's also an upgrade kit available if you bought the recent upgrade from a year or 2 ago, and it'll kind of deluxify that copy. The deluxe edition comes with a really nice drawstring bag, which to me is an absolute must to play this game, because it's way too annoying to flip all of those tiles upside down and mix them up, you know, and try not to accidentally flip them back right side up. I just think most people, myself included, that have previous copies just go out and buy the drawstring bag. So it's nice to see them after 60 years finally including a component that basically is fundamental to even play their game. So it's a really cool addition. It might be a bit pricey for the components in my opinion, but this is a timeless game that will forever be one of my personal favorites of all time. And if your person loves economic or stock games and doesn't have Acquire, then this is literally a game that they need in their collection. My older copy is long out of print, which I still prefer, but it's also priced quite a bit higher on the secondhand market than you can grab that $90 deluxe version, which is honestly probably even a nicer copy. So if you don't have an older copy, then yeah, if I didn't have this copy, I would honestly, no question, I would just go for the 60th anniversary. It's fantastic. Literally can't recommend that one enough. Top 3 time, and number 3, of course, is another reprint of a Grail game that to me is foundational to a collection, and that is Lords of Vegas, which is currently $75 on loansharkgames.com, and I know that's a bit pricey, but especially since it's a fairly small box, but it's half the cost of the previous printing of the game on the secondhand market. And this game is literally so much fun. After so many years, it's still a go-to for me on any game night. It might legit be in my top 5 most tabled games in my entire collection. It's got the ease of entry weight, of a party game, but with the strategic depth all of us real board gamers thirst for. I can teach this to anyone. They're gonna love it and probably ask, to run it right back after that first game. It's a game that I'd table with a new group and immediately everyone would ask where they can go get it. And then I'm like, about that. So you can finally go to the publisher's website and grab a copy and be the hero of future game nights. Others will marvel at your board game prowess in bringing such a great game to game night. I'm not sure how long this printing will last. Their stock's probably going to kind of be another one-time thing, and it'll probably be quite a while before they reprint this one again. I'll add that I would not worry too much about the expansions. For now, it's really so good in the base game, so just start there. You'll be fine. It's already pricey enough at base, so you don't have to go grab an expansion, but if you were to, then I would recommend the Up expansion because it changes it from 4 to 6 players, and I find that pretty convenient. I will say some of the printings of the Up expansion came with some tokens that really left a lot to be desired. In fact, I ended up going and buying replacement tokens for it off Amazon because they were almost unplayable. I think I just got a really bad printing. I have never heard anyone else complain about that box. So if you do get it, hopefully your tokens are actually usable. If they're not, join the Discord, link in the description, and I'll be happy to link you to where I got my replacement tokens for it. They weren't that pricey, and for a game this important to me, I'm not going to complain. Okay, number 2 is going to have some people unsubscribe, and you know what? I already care less about the algorithm, so shenanigans are in play. In our hobby, there are 3 great houses, which are never to come in contact with one another, living like competing islands adrift at sea, unfamiliar and even confused by the existence of one another. But I think at least 2 of these islands should start gaming together. Maybe keep the trading card island, to themselves. Stay over there. But the board game island and the miniature wargaming island really have been separated for long enough. So for number 2, we have Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. Now, I recommend Hivestorm, not this box. I'll talk more about that in a second. But Hivestorm is currently on sale on Amazon for $192. So this is a bigger ticket item, but it's a decent sell price and a killer price point for what all you get in the box. Some may be wondering why I'm recommending Hivestorm instead of the just released Kill Team starter set, which I think this is going for about 110, and that's because this box is trash. And I'm sorry, but it's true. I bought it, I like it, but it's not technically a starter set in my opinion. It's more of a tutorial mode toe dip, and I suppose that phrase was a bit too long to fit on the box aesthetically or for whatever reason. But what I mean is, in this box, you get a terrible quote-unquote rule book, which is not a rule book. It does not actually have the rules of the game. You get terrain that is only 1 level, and you get the miniatures. Though super cool models and some of the coolest teams currently available in the game, they're also super annoying pop assembly type of Game Workshop miniatures. And for newer people to Warhammer like myself, they aren't entry-level friendly to put together. If you snip off some of the little poles that pop into each other, then you'd probably fit them together a lot cleaner. But I had to do a lot of cleanup on my end on the Death Guard. And after putting them all together, I think this is a better set for people with more experience, which is hilarious because this is the worst box for people with experience. This is a box that if you just really want the Ultramarines and Plague Marines, you get it for the 2 sets. I mean, honestly, the sets normally sell for 70 to 80 a piece. So you're still getting 2 sets for a good price buying this. But if you're buying a starter set, this is not the right box in my opinion. So yeah, go Hive Storm. It gives you damn near everything you need, but this is Games Workshop, so of course you're not going to get everything you need, and you'll have to buy paint, sprue cutters, glue, brushes, you get the point. But it actually comes with the full rule book, unlike the fake terrible rule book in this starter set right here, as well as terrain that is multi-level, which to me is very important for this game. This is a cool gift idea for a board gamer because they probably don't have any Warhammer yet, but have always been super interested in it. And this is the most ideal starting point in my opinion. It's a smaller 6 to 12 unit skirmish combat system, so you won't be painting a 50 miniature army in order to play it. And you also don't have to paint the minis if you don't want to. After all, we're board gamers. We're fine with gray plastic. But if you were to go to a wargaming meetup, just be prepared to be completely ridiculed if you have not invested a week into each mini. But I've been loving this game. It scratches all the same itches of Six Siege, which I did say earlier this year was my 2024 game of the year. And honestly, this is probably better than that. Six Siege comes a little bit better contained. This one's a little bit more of an investment to really get into. But if you are willing to spend that extra penny, you know, on the person you're buying for, I just genuinely don't know what a cooler gift is than this. I mean, this is like, you have no idea how much I'm about to be playing Kill Team this year. A lot. I have been painting minis. Like, anyway, let's not get that sidetracked. But yes, very fun. Absolutely love it. Can't recommend it enough. In fact, it's my most recommended thing on this list. However, it does bring us to the #1 game. And you're probably wondering, what game can be better than the game that probably is better than what I called the #1 game of 2024? And well, it's not better than Kill Team at all, not even close, but it's such a good deal, like a wild deal, that I had no choice but to let it get this spot. It is the insane Zombicide sale that is currently going on over at Amazon. They have Green Horde for $80, Black Plague for $65, second edition for $80, Undead or Alive for $65. So many more. Like almost everything Zombicide is on sale right now. Literally so many core sets, which is crazy. And I don't know what's going on with CMON right now, but they're dumping Zombicide at a crazy rate. And you know what? It's a great time to get into it if you don't have Zombicide yet. All of the editions are a blast and worth playing, except for the space version, which I think was called Invader or something. Don't get the space version. It's actually trash. Second edition being the obvious current entry point, but Black Plague is probably the best edition ever made, and it does suffer from the old annoying door rules, but you can just home rule that and play it without those. Play it like the new edition door rules work. You're not going to go wrong picking the base box here, unless of course you choose the space one, but they're all just grabbing guns and chainsaws and killing zombies, you know, waves of zombies. So it's got enough theme and strategy to keep it interesting, but it's just pure Ameritrash in the full sense of it. Piles of plastic, collecting items, loving every minute of it. So what you spend here is up to you, but don't go crazy. Pick a core box, maybe an expansion, and let that be the entry for your person into Zombicide. This game is not so groundbreaking that you need all of the expansions. You know, just grab a base. I'm being honest here. I think it's one of those games that if it really sings to you, then go crazy. But, you know, don't start as a completionist. This game is not that serious. And that's our top 10. So I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you watched this with us. This is a great list for any Christmas buyers, but also it's a great list just to buy yourself something if you wanted to. And as a reminder, I will be at Tantrum Con in January, and I hope to see a bunch of you there. I'll be hosting quite a few games there, doing their little VIP game tables, as well as hosting quite a few public games and private games with friends and Discord members. So yeah, join the Discord, let's link up, let's play some games, and shout out to Tantrum House for having me as a special guest this year. I'm super excited. I legit can't wait. I absolutely love this convention. It's kind of my favorite right now. So hope to see you guys there, and until then, keep hunting that cardboard.